We want to apologize to generality of Nigerians, officially now coming from me as the Minister of Power, that for this temporary issue that is leading to hardship being experienced, especially during this dry season, where there is so much heat everywhere, where businesses are also being affected, where schools are being affected, where industries are being affected. It is not our wish to find ourselves in this situation. It's some factors that's actually beyond our control. But we are not relenting. We are working on it 24/7 to make sure that we go back to the trend, to the trajectory of 2025, whereby you praised us, whereby you commended us for a good job well done. And we can imagine if we could provide such service in 2025, this is 2026, this is when we'll be willing to even do more, to even do better as we are close to the election year. So, except that we cannot help it, that's why we find ourselves here. But I can assure you that in the next few weeks, all this will be over.
Well, you heard it from the minister. He said electricity crisis is beyond his control. Now let me ask you, how do you fix something that is beyond your control? You cannot. You can't fix something beyond your control. So when the minister says, without saying electricity is beyond, power is beyond his control, he's indirectly tendering a resignation. Because the moment like this, leaders tells you a problem is beyond them, then they've admitted that they are no longer in charge of the solution. But of course, in a system where nobody takes a cue, under Bola Tinubu, that statement will pass through like nothing really happened. No consequences, no urgency, no accountability. So if electricity is beyond your control, then what exactly is within your control? Because this dry season did not just come. It's not a mystery. It's not a surprise. Gas supply issues in Nigeria did not start yesterday. It's a structural problem that has been there right from time and is caused by leadership, unpreparedness. And once again, we hear all these empty speeches without any actual work. And I'm going to explain this to you. So Nigeria has the capacity to produce over 13,000 megawatts of electricity. That is what they call installed capacity. But in reality, just over 4,000 megawatts was available for use in February 2026. And to even make it worse, only 32% of that power plant were actually working properly. Now, let me make this clearer. It's like you own a bakery and then you have over 15 ovens. And out of the 15 ovens, only 4 ovens are actually functioning. So even if you have the ability to produce, because of the size of your bakery, more bread, you cannot because you have just 4 functioning ovens. So when the official reminds us that we got to 6,000 megawatts last year, the question is, what happened after the headlines? Did it get to homes? This is what happens when government keeps reminding us of their excess promise. Nigeria is failing. They keep presenting numbers that are actually unrealistic. They announce records, but the ordinary people live in regression. And the insult is even much deeper because for me, I have a problem with all this banning. You have the band A who are supposed to have 20 hours light, band B 16, band C, I think 12, band D, I think, is it 8? Then band E should be having like 4. Who should live in band E in a country? This is pure inequality in a country where every citizen is expected to be equal. But even worse than this, even the people in the band E don't even have the 4 hours as promised. So the issue here is not even simply that there's no light. The issue here is that there's no accountability attached to even the darkness, because in a serious country, a minister says to the public, look, natural infrastructure crisis is beyond my control. He's seeking for help. He's seeking for you to look for someone who can do the work. Because we live in a system where a leader can actually admit helplessness and still retain his position. Do you know how much is lost to electricity shortages in Nigeria? The World Bank estimated that unreliable electricity costs Nigerians between $28 to $29 billion every year. And when we say Nigeria, it is Nigerians and by extension Nigeria, because let's consider the fact Nigeria had constant and reliable electricity. Most businesses will run 24/7. So if a minister who once had solutions when it was time to increase tariffs, but now says the crisis is beyond his control, then the problem is not just electricity. The problem is leadership. Leadership that rises for revenue, but retreats from responsibility. It is a truth at a time. Take care and have a nice day.